Hi guys, what I'm going to try and make for you right now is a video on how to let Google Sheets and Google in general do a lot of the work for you in your calculations for this gummy bear lab. You could be using one of these, but I figured since I want you to make a data table and a graph on the computer, I might as well try and show you some of the tricks on using Google Sheets to let the computer do the math for you. The reason I am doing this on the computer in a video as opposed to live up on the TV is because I want you to be able to pause the video, rewind the video, fast forward the video, jump back, jump ahead, do some work, move along. Use this video at your own pace so you can really kind of dial into some of these tips and tricks that I want to show you. Let's get right to it. What you see here is my gummy bear data, and I've got my measurements that I made really precisely with a ruler, all right? And you'll notice that they're all 2 places after the decimal point. Well, I did that on purpose. When I do my calculations, I don't want my calculations to be 8 digits long. I want my calculations to be pretty succinct, 2 places after the decimal point. The easiest way to do that is simply highlight your data table. Highlight the numbers that you want 2 places after the decimal point. Format, number, and choose number. Notice this has 2 places after the decimal point. So I'll click that. And now all my calculations are going to be automatically rounded to 2 places after the decimal point. We're going to come back to this format number in a little bit. But for now, make the rounding easy. Click this one, set it, and forget it. So normally what you would do to find the volume is you would multiply length times width times height. And you would use your handy-dandy calculator to do that. Don't do that. Let the Google machine do it for you. You're going to use something called a formula. In this box, okay, the volume box, I am going to type the following. Equals. Up here in the formula bar, pay attention up there. Equals length, shift 8 for the multiply sign, width, shift 8 for the multiply sign, height. All I've done is tell that volume box to have the value of whatever's in B3 times whatever's in B4 times whatever's in B5. Hit return, and there is my answer, 0.48. I could write it out here. But I'm going to be lazy. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Math done. Woo! Now that I know my volume, I can kind of predict what I want. 0.51, 0.55, 0.59, 0.56. These predictions aren't super important for your math, but they will be important in the reasoning. The next thing that I want to do is fast forward to day 2. And I'm going to get some measurements to fill in for my final. I'm just making this up. I haven't done the experiment yet, so I'm just going to make up some values. 1.7, 0.9, whoops, 0.9, 0.5. Again, I have to multiply these together. Go back to my original B3, B4, B5, copy, paste. All right, 2.1, 0.9, 0.5. Copy, paste. All right, 1.8, 0.5. Go back to the original, copy, paste. 1.8, 0.9, 0.7. Go back to the original, copy, paste. Sweet. Let the Google do the work for you. All right. I did this. This was on a scale. That was on a scale. So that's just one measurement. There's no math there. Predict that's going to go to 2.3, 2.4, 2.55, 2.3. And I fast forward a day, I put the gummy bear on a scale, and it actually was 2.859. I'm making numbers up. 2.9, 2.9, and 5. I don't know. Again, I'm just making up numbers. You will actually get these numbers on the day that you see this video. So here is our raw data. This raw data is awesome, but it's not relative to what it started at. What we need to do is we need to do these percent calculations. We need to do these percent calculations so we can see how big it got compared to what it started with. Just because it started, where's my camera? It started big and got bigger, doesn't make a difference. We want to know where it started at and how much bigger it got compared to that percentage. We're going to use percent back to figure this out. It's a little tricky to start, but you'll get the hang of it. First thing you want to do is make another data table just like this. Just like this. Now, these numbers are going to be percentages. So we're going to go back to Format, Number, and we're going to click the percent. We want these to be percentages. This raw data is in numbers. This data is in percentages. So the percent back formula is pretty simple. See if I can, there we go. So for tap water, we're going to go, look at my formula bar, equals, open parentheses, final volume minus initial volume, close parentheses, divide by initial volume. Boom. That gummy bear grew 59.38%. Mass, same thing. Equals, open parentheses, final mass, minus initial mass, close parentheses, divide by initial mass. And its mass grew by 42%. Soap equals final minus initial, divide by initial. Whoops. Too many parentheses. I can fix that. Go to my formula bar. Look, I'm missing a parenthesis right there. Click it, parentheses, return. Equals. Now, if you look at this, it tries to predict the formula that you're going to get. Google's AI is not that great on predictions of formulas yet. You still have to type it out, simply because they're not right next to each other anymore. Open parenthesis, soap mass, soap water mass, final minus initial, close parentheses, divide by initial. Boom. Sugar water equals, open parentheses, sugar water, final minus initial, close parentheses, divide by, boom, there you go. Sugar mass equals, open parentheses, minus initial slash initial. All right, one more to go. Equals, open parentheses, final minus initial, close parentheses, divide by initial, hit return. Ooh, vinegar got really big. Equals, final minus initial, close parentheses, divide by initial. I can tell I'm missing a parentheses there. I'll put that in there. Boom. Nice. Now this is important. This is the real data. This tells us how much bigger it got compared to what it started at. And this is what we're going to graph. You guys know how to graph. Highlight, insert, chart. This bad boy, this is what I want in your here report. I don't want the raw data in your here report. I want the graph in your here report. But you've got to go through all the raw data to make the graph perfect. You might have to do some editing. You might have to do some customizing. You might have to change some volume mass and fix this, okay? You guys are good enough about that. But this is what I want in the lab report. You don't need to give me all this. That's way too much. Just give me this. Again, take your time. Go slow. Double check your formulas. This is rudimentary AI. Everyone says, AI is going to do all the work for me. It's simply a computer. It's only going to spit out what you put into it. So if you take your time and put into it correct values and correct formulas, then it's going to spit out correct calculations and correct graphs. Take your time. Don't get frustrated. You can do this.